It's crack-a-lackin', you crazy cobras. How you crazy cobras doing is fine. Early morning. So I've been getting my house wand with these wands. Like you wouldn't believe. Now the first one you see in the vice clamp is the patriotic 4th of July themed wand. I'm getting the handle glued in place. That's the only thing I can't do multiple wands at the same time of. But every other step I do on the wands, minus the podging and the handles being wrapped. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that can be done. Multiple steps. There's no such thing as too early, my peeps. But I've been working very hard to get this batch of wands done, so that being said, batch number 4 is like 80 to 90% done. Damn near. If I can do a video on the 4th of July shredding the national anthem, trust and believe it's gonna happen. Right now it's just a wee bit too early in the morning for the guitar. I only got that much pipe tobacco in my bag here, so I'm not smoking through it as fast as I normally would, but that's good stuff. I was pretty much up all night bullshitting, making wands, you know. Oh, that's not Dreamer, the song. You're thinking of a different Ozzy song. And I'd rather not discuss my exes on Facebook. You're thinking of the song Here For You, not Dreamer, but I'd rather not discuss my exes on Facebook. The last thing I need is more drama in my fucking life because, oh, he was talking about me in one of his videos. Please. Yeah, all the hard work busting my Asperger's, making these wands pays off. It gets wands in the pockets of my fans, and it gets money in my pocket, so it works out both ways. It could take several hours for Gorilla Glue to set. And I'd rather use the entire vice clamp for each handle individually. That way I know the leather ain't coming off when I go to polish the entire thing. But with a crystal scepter to paint and finish, and one handheld wand to carve, this ain't shit, dude. This batch is diggity damn near done. Oh, no worries, Greg. No worries. But yeah, that kind of thing has stirred up drama in the past, and I'd much rather avoid it because the drama is just so unnecessary. There's enough of it going on social media. Like, you get attacked in the comment section for you dare speak your opinion. Ooh, you know. And custom painted wands tend to take longer to paint, but they turn out cool. So I guess, to an extent, Well, they can if they're done right. I can't just wave a wand and make them dry faster, but there you go. The fourth batch of wands is going to contain 20 wands, mind you, which is 20 chances for one individual to buy one wand. Because selling 13 wands in the last batch was a good call. I gave more people a chance to buy a wand. Now selling 20 wands in this next batch, it'll give people a nice opportunity to buy that. Well, thank you for that compliment, Emily. That shampoo I've been using is doing wonders. Long hair is kind of a bitch to detangle, but once you get it detangled and calm down, yeah. I noticed it's starting to thicken back up quite nicely. I've avoided picking the back of my scalp if I can help it, and the picking has gotten a lot better. That's one benefit to making wands, I suppose, is that my hands are constantly distracted. I'm not sitting there plucking out my gorgeous hair. I'm actually doing something useful with my hands, other than flipping off the haters. So now I figured out a system to these wands and making them in bigger batches and get them done as quickly as possible. And it works, but it requires a lot of hustle and bustle on my part. And there's a good chance I could have a full widow's peak by the time the Ozzy concert starts. Which would be sick. And having longer metalhead hair is pretty cool, but when you have longer hair, you gotta comb it and maintain it. If you let that shit get tangled and matted and messy, it looks bleh. So when I went to Walmart to grab some leather cord for my wands, I accidentally grabbed a different color, and it actually doesn't look half bad, to be honest. You got the black handle with the brown leather cord. It's a nice contrast, and when you polish it, it's actually gonna look kind of cool. A black and brown are very standard wand colors. So the handles are basically those basic colors, but then you got these vibrant wands to go with it, you know what I'm saying? And I keep you peeps updated on the progress of each for the most part up to a certain point. Because I want to give everybody a fair chance to buy one, you know what I'm saying? I made a live video through the whole process every time, like, ooh, check this out, you know? Then a lot of people would, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people who aren't friends with me on Facebook wouldn't be able to get a wand, and that's kind of shitty for people who aren't friends with me on Facebook. So this way it gives somewhat of a fair chance, I guess. I haven't glued it yet, but I got it tied into place. Ready to be worked on. You always want to use the last of your supplies before you break into the next batch. Case in point. The patriotic wand, and this wand right here got the last of this color right here, which is the black leather cord, which is what I have been using. So sometimes a mistake as it being a creative breakthrough, you never know. But there you go. This one's done. This is the only done wand in the batch. It takes the quickest amount of time to make, leaving some of the bark on the handle to contrast. It kind of fits the theme of each wand. But that's a nicely solid wand, and yeah, the polish is definitely dry on that bitch. It definitely feels like you're holding a wand when you pick it up. Now, when you buy a wand on Etsy, it may say 1 pound, but that's just a rough estimate with it in the box, or the two, whichever it may come in. You know, it's not an accurate estimate, but the polish I got makes them dry clear and shiny. It also seals it. Because the clear wand takes the least amount of time to do. This one usually gets done first, and the rest of them are just repeated step by step. Carve, paint, handle, glue, podge. Instead of trying to finish one wand at a time, you do multiple wands and multiple steps. It saves me a couple days on dry time. So by the time this thing is fully dry, you got several that are just about there. It speeds up the production of wands just a wee bit. And if I get a couple of wand batches done before the Aussie concert, no less, I can get some money saved up. And if I go down to Denver, Colorado, I'll pick up some bud and then smoke it at the concert and a couple beers, and you know what I'm saying, whatever, you know. What the fuck are they gonna say? If I'm smoking bud at the Ozzy concert in Denver, Colorado, the fuck are they gonna say? Oh, sir, you can't do that. Like, first of all, fuck you, it's Colorado, it's legal. Second of all, it's a rock concert. Straight the fuck up. Like, it's Ozzy, so it's one of Ozzy's last tours, and it's like, if you're celebrating the success he's had in his music, then I don't know what the fuck you're there for. And that's the kicker of it. Ozzy may or may not retire after these tours, but bands like Stone Sour are still touring. So, my point exactly. Leaving some of the natural bark on the wand handle, let me look like a pool stick, kind of. It's cool. I'm using the full pressure of the vice clamp. Just one at a time to pinch the handle at that sweet spot. That way I know for a fact that the leather on my wands ain't coming off. And these are like literally holdable works of art, man. That's all I'm getting at. Like, these take a minute to make. And there's a way to make them dry faster, I'm sure there is, but at the moment, this is the fastest way possible. I could use like a hair dryer, but that's requiring. And then you could run that at all hours of the night. If you're doing wands late at night, that'd be kind of inconvenient for the noise problem. So you have to like dry the wands during the day, it's something like that. But this method works too. And yet they take a minute to dry, but the finished product looks good, I'm just saying. One of you lucky motherfuckers is gonna get your hand on one of these, me. For as fast as they're selling, there's definitely demand for them. This one's complete and fully dry. The polish is dried clear. It's nice and shiny. It's nice. Because there are some people who be like, well, I don't want to have colors on it. I don't want natural life. Oh, shit. The fuck is this then? So two of the wands I made used up the last of what I had on the last roll of leather cord. Point being, I had enough leather string to complete damn near all the wands. I'm not gonna have enough to do the handle on the scepter. Let's just be real about it. You have 20 some odd wands being wrapped with this leather. It's yeah. And there's times where you're just like you don't want to do like one single string unless you're towards the bottom of it. You want a couple layers of string looped around it so it actually feels like you're holding a fucking wand and not just some stick. Like, okay, what the fuck is this shit, you know? Actually looks and feels like a fucking wand. And could be used as such if done properly. Maybe you're a cosplayer, or maybe you're a practitioner, or maybe you're just a fan of the fucking videos and you're like, yo, I want to get one of these. Maybe you want something to display in your home or work office as like a chakra piece or like putting a quartz crystal in your office or some shit, you know what I'm saying? Same concept. You can sit there and stare at it and fiddle with it. You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't practice magic and you're sitting there at work or whatever, and some people will sit there and fiddle with pens and shit. Well, it's the same concept. You're just sitting there, you start fidgeting. All of a sudden, it's like, yo, pick this thing up, and it's like, hey, check that out. So it has multiple purposes. It could be a fidget toy. And they're made from solid sticks too, so that's how you know they're not gonna fucking break. I think I'm playing. I mean, you see how big these arms are. This is the Cobra Craft test right here. If this one isn't gonna snap, then I guarantee you the rest of them ain't either. And if it does snap, then I will remake it. I was pushing all my strength into trying to snap one of these, and that ain't happening. That ain't happening. And this is a relatively normal sized wand, normal thickness, you know, not too thin, not too fat. So just because the wands are smaller doesn't necessarily mean that they'll have the same, you know what I'm saying? Like, just because they're different sizes doesn't mean that they're all gonna break. No, this is craftsmanship at its finest. You know what I'm saying? I demonstrate to this right here to you on camera. So anybody tries saying, "Oh, I got a wand, I ordered it, and it's broken," that's bullshit. I'm gonna tell you right now, that's bullshit. If you ordered a fucking wand and it arrived broken, you cut the motherfucker in half with a hacksaw, and then try to play it off like, "Oh yeah, no, fuck you," straight up. Like, there's no way in hell this is gonna arrive broken in the fucking mail. I'm just saying. You order a wand, it's gonna show up. What you see is what you get. You know what I'm saying? You know, like the color of it when you get it, you can always repaint it when you get it. That's your call, because it's basically yours by the time it hits your doorstep. So you can't sit there and say, "Oh well, the wand, da da da, broken, da da da, yeah, whatever." And the next step to getting this batch of wands done is individually gluing each handle to the wands, and the rest of them come together pretty quickly. Yeah, life's a hustle. You gotta get it. Facebook. That's what I'm getting at. And be sure you have the proper address, the proper shipping address. Because last time I had two customers order a wand and then hit me up. "Oh, I gave you the wrong address. Da, da, da. And then as soon as I tried to ship it to their address they gave me listed on what they said to me, that sort of thing. It was supposedly an address that doesn't exist. So, that being said, that's bound to happen on occasion. But be sure you have the right address when you order a wand. That way, these things are just floating around, being sent nowhere. Well, this wand should be dry enough that I could snip the excess off. There's a little bit of glue right there. I put another dab of glue right there after I snip the excess off. Squeeze it through so that way it's nice and tight. This part right here on the wands takes literally no time at all. Maybe a couple hours max. This part of the wand is so easy. Once that glue is dry from the first knot, just to make sure it's sealed, I'm gonna put another dab of glue right there on top, right where I cut the excess off. Usually I don't have to do this again, but with this one it probably wouldn't hurt, you never know. Just to make sure that, these ones look as good and they stay together and shit. And I do this kind of thing with the wands individually. There you go. There we go. This will make sure that the handles don't come off. I mean, just to make sure they don't move around on me when I go to punch them. That way they stay in place. So sometimes applying just a little bit of extra glue to when you wrap the handles doesn't hurt. This thing has a bunch of painter's tape on it because I'm doing different layers of color. I'm trying to pull it out successfully, and I noticed that. The orange can be touched up right here. And then the green needs to be added. There you go, y'all seen that. My fucking power's fucking with shit. Live on camera. That vice clamp wasn't moving when I put that one in there, but as soon as I said that, yeah. I'd touch up the bottom of the handle right here because it was white. Well, it wasn't white like the top half right here. The bottom half of the handle was kind of the color of the stick. It didn't. So to touch it up, I added some contrast to it. Now the paint on this one is dry enough that I can add painter's tape to the yellow layer. And enough to protect these layers right here all the way down. So then I can do two different colors right here and right here to give it that. Now if you didn't want your colors to run, like I said in the last couple of Facebook Live videos, this is what it looks like when it runs. If you want a more clean line on your wand paint, there you go. It doesn't look like much now, but you see the first like 3 to 4 to 5 colors coming on. Yeah. Oh no, this one isn't for me. Fuck no. No, this is being made just for shits and giggles. No, dude, this isn't mine. I already got a wand I made for myself. This right here is my wand. This thing is sick. I'm just saying. Now taping it off when it's all dry in certain sections like this to give it what you're going for, that to do individual colors, that it takes forever, but the end result pays off. I'm just saying. Well, good morning, Therese. How are you doing this fine early morning? I'm getting handles glued onto wands one at a time. And this one needs glue on the handle, but there it is so far. That's pretty cool looking. It's got a handle on it, almost. Yeah. So start off by protecting the bottom half of it. Now my goal is to have this wand that I hold in my hands done by tonight. One of the people that I hang around as a relative, and they're like, "Oh, that's so cool. Can you make me a wand?" And I says, "Yeah, I can do that. What kind of wand do you want?" Relative of theirs says they want a rainbow wand. I said, "Funny you say that because I can pull that off. It just takes forever to do in layers. You could let it bleed naturally if you're really skilled and crafty with the paint." Right now that yellow is dried, so I can add a little bit more orange to that section that I missed. After the yellow, we got the green, and then the blue, and then the purple, right there. And by the time it gets to the tip's going to be white and glow in the dark, just like the handle. Yeah. There's a method to my madness. In fact, I'm going to set that right there to the side. I was going to sit there on my lap, but I'm like, nah, my pants got sawdust on. I'm going to try not to get that on the wands if I can help it. There we go. It makes things a little bit easier. Okay, I know that paint's dry enough. Maybe it's a little sticky here and there, but that's all right. Now this little section right here gets straight painted orange to match the one below it. And then I'm gonna try to be ballsy and do like multiple sections at once. Maybe like two, speed it up a little bit. And you want to space it out a little bit. Because then by the time I get to doing the last half of this right here, because you're doing different colors right here and right here, I want that drizzling down onto the handle and creating more work than there needs to be. This could be a cool looking wand for the person who wants it when it's done. That's the thing of it is occasionally I will offer to make a free wand for somebody. I don't do it very often, but it's just certain things I see as you know what I'm saying, as good ideas for advertising. So to protect the paint on the handle, do this number. See extra steps like this. And if I get a little bit on the tip of it right here, it don't matter because that's going to be repainted. The main key is getting the orange right in that little section right there. And then getting the green right there in front of the yellow. And then sitting it on top of some paint cans so that the painter's tape is supporting it without getting paint all over the carpet. If it drips on the workbench, that's fine. You know, if you're doing this kind of thing outside, then I won't worry about it too much. But yeah, the orange can light is busted up. God damn it. I forgot about that. And this is the last time I'm going to have to use this orange can because it's doing this. No more than I can use it. It's doing shit like that. If I can switch out these little nozzles with different colored nozzles just to get it to work and paint the color I need. Like, nah, dude. Yeah, no, I'm not going to keep doing that for this color. It's just easier to get a can. Because eventually you don't want to fuck up the tip for this other can and end up wasting two cans. Yeah, that sucks. It's alright. This is garden green. Yeah. To go against the yellow. Now remember when I said it's alright if I get a little bit of green on the tip because it'll get repainted. Yeah, my point exactly. And that's basically what this has been like. It's just waiting for it to dry and taking all the tape off, retaping it, repainting it. I can use paint cans to hold up the wand while it dries, just like that. The parts that are going to paint it are covered in paint and not touching the can. Granted, yes, it probably looks rather funky. And if you're eager to get the paint off, the painter's tape, I mean, yeah, don't be. Try inking that shit off when the paint's not dry. You can smear your clean lines. That's how I got the smear line on the handle. See if you want a nice clean line separating the colors going all the way up, man. This is how you do it. It's a bit of a time-consuming process, but as in the case with the this patriotic one I made. It does decent enough. That looks pretty sick. While leaving that one there to dry, to wash your hands once again. This seems to have content is just smidgen of paint on the fingers. maybe, just maybe, we can speed things up just a little bit on the wands. As far as getting the handles done. Look at that, the glue is sticking to the handles, pinching up on the vice clip. So maybe that way now I can do multiple handles at once, yo. I mean, you can, to an extent, glue multiple handles on at the same time. Just, you gotta wait for the other one to dry before, to an extent, before you can do it. That way it don't come off the vice clip. Now instead of having just one wand handle being glued on, now I got two of the works. Bunch of birds just landed at my window. Well, how about that? That was cool as shit. I just seen a crow pecking at my window, eating some grub out of the ground. Right the fuck on. That's cool as shit, man. Yeah. Now I'm getting these wand handles glued on 2 at a time. They'll get done quickly enough. It's not gonna happen immediately, but at least it's getting done, and that's the thing of it. If you're gonna use Gorilla Glue for your wands, clear drying Gorilla Glue is the stuff to get. Oh, it looks like a crow, but it's got a golden beak, pointy beak, and golden eyes with a black spot in the middle of the pupils. Huh. But his body's all black. They're just some weird shit, man. But pretty much like all of last night, today is pretty much a repeat of yesterday. Getting wands done. I could have that one wand done by the evening without any difficulties.